Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jamela and I am the creator of a blog called Insightful Black Woman, and I create content that is all about growth and self-worth. In this video, I'll be telling you the reasons why you should travel to East Africa. But first, let me give you 3 facts you probably didn't know about East Africa. The first thing that you probably didn't know about East Africa is that there are 5 sub-regions of East Africa. These 5 sub-regions make up 21 countries. The second thing you probably didn't know about East Africa is that the East African visa doesn't include all of the East African countries. I bought an East African visa for $100, which is good for 90 days. However, this visa was only entry for Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya, only 3 of the countries that make up the East African community. I do not know the requirements to get into the other countries in East Africa, but this is something to consider and check before you go. The third thing that you probably didn't know about East Africa is that Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee. Legend has it that a goat herder named Kaldi discovered it, and it was brought into civilization in the 15th century. So for all you coffee lovers out there, you know where its origin lies. So those are 3 facts you probably didn't know about East Africa. Now I'll tell you the reasons why you should travel there. My top 4 reasons you should travel to East Africa are 1, the good weather, 2, the beautiful landscape, 3, the variety of activities, and 4, because it is rich in culture. I came up with these based on my personal experience in Uganda and Rwanda. I was only there for a week, yet those 2 countries made a big impact on my perspective. Now, let's take a closer look at each of my reasons. The climate is mostly tropical with 2 seasons, the rainy season and the dry season. The weather typically stays the same. When I first arrived in Rwanda, it was hot, especially in the afternoon. But when the sun went down, there was a little coolness in the air, but nothing a light jacket couldn't fix. Since the weather is pretty much the same, you can go any time of the year. I went during the rainy season, and at times it was overcast and I experienced some rainfall. For example, it rained during my boat tour in Kasora, Uganda. Lucky for me, it was at the end of the tour. Still, the sun came out every day. Now, let's get into the next reason you should travel to East Africa: the landscape. When I was younger, I pictured Africa as a desert, but as I got older and learned more about geography, I understood that the continent is filled with a variety of landscapes. East Africa, particularly Uganda and Rwanda, are filled with hills and contain mountains and volcanoes. It was amazing to see so much agriculture. Rwanda is considered land of 1,000 hills, and it truly is a sight to see. When I was in Uganda, there was a volcano that hid behind the clouds in the distance. That, along with all the greenery, was a perfect and calming view. My perspective could be tainted because I lived in the desert for so long. However, that doesn't take away the beauty of the land. The weather mixed with the scenery are 2 reasons you should go. My third reason why you should put East Africa on your bucket list is because of all of the different activities you could do. There are plenty of activities you can do in East Africa, from coffee and tea tours to gorilla trekking to a safari. You can hike Mount Kilimanjaro or find the perfect place to birdwatch. If you are interested in seeing animals in their natural habitat, East Africa is the place for you. There's also cultural and city tours as well. There are a wide variety of things to do, and there is something for everyone of all ages. The variety of activities may be your main reason for traveling to East Africa, but there is still one more reason to go. My last reason to travel to East Africa is its rich culture. Africa as a whole is rich in culture. I mean, it is the second largest continent in the world. I can only speak on my experience. I have been to the pyramids in Egypt, and it was cool to ride a camel and view the stunning structures. But when I visited East Africa, I was captivated by the mothers wearing their babies on their back and working in the village. I am so caught up in 21st century technology and the way apps make my life better that sometimes I think there's no place for old traditions. But seeing the women wrap their babies on their backs and still work in the rural areas was mind-blowing. I know some of you may be shaking your heads because I'm sounding like a first world brat, but hear me out. Even in the more urban areas, I do not think I saw one stroller. I'm sure there are lots of benefits to baby wearing, two of them being that it's cost efficient and space saving. This is a perfect example of how an old tradition is still useful today. Here's a question for you. You have a bundle of sugarcane and you need to get it from point A to point B. You do not have any tools or transportation. What is the most effective way to transport the sugarcane? On your head, of course. Most of the people I saw carried objects on their heads varying from medium-sized baskets to large water jugs. I think it is simple yet effective. Also, balancing objects on your head helps you to keep good posture. Now, I don't want to encourage people to go look at the natives as spectacles. It's just that seeing people using old traditions in this age of technology was humbling. So often, I feel I need more resources to accomplish my goals, but the reality is, past generations made it with much less. I am grateful for all of the resources I have available to me, and at the same time, I don't want to complain or go over my budgets for things that I think I need. Like the late Chuck Brown said, keep what you got so you get what you need. Hey. The mothers wrapping babies on their backs and the people placing objects on their heads are two examples of cultural traditions you can learn from when you go. You are almost at the end of my video. Let's do a quick recap. The top 4 reasons I think you should go to East Africa are the good weather, the beautiful landscape, the variety of activities, and the rich culture. If you don't book your trip to East Africa now, I will find you and harass you. Just kidding. I'm an introvert and I'm more likely to run from strangers, not go after them. If you can't tell by now, I enjoyed my trip to East Africa and I think you would too. What are you waiting for? Go book your trip now. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.